What's new? COVID cases continue to rise. Another new record today. We'll tell you what medical advancements have been made since the beginning of the pandemic.
We hold ourselves to extremely high standards of care.
Keeping an eye on those who are highest risk. We go inside the investigation that led to the firing of 3 employees at a local nursing home after a spike in coronavirus cases inside the facility. And there's still time to vote early. We have all the information you need to make sure your vote counts.
Wow.
What?
You knew I was going to change my answer like 15 times in a flash.
Plus, this is just crazy. A mentalist will join us on the show. He will attempt to read my mind and Betsy's mind at the same time. That's scary alone. Find out if you can do it and where you can see him this weekend in Cleveland. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, everybody, we made it to Friday, and a happy Friday it is to you. Hopefully you're doing well today. Thanks so much for choosing What's New. I'm Betsy Kling. My co-host Jay Crawford is back home at Studio J just for one more day, though. I know it's a little crummy today, but Jay, you get to come back to work on Monday.
I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
I'm also hopeful that we have better weather. I looked something up today. I didn't know this, Betsy.
Uh-oh.
Tomorrow actually will be just the first time we've had a blue moon on Halloween since 2001. So that's pretty cool. I think that's neat.
A blue moon is the second full moon in a month. So they do happen occasionally, but it just kind of happens to all come together with the time change and Halloween, and it's a Saturday, and back in the day was like the most wonderful time of the year. But certainly the blue moon is notable to this weekend.
Very good.
We're going to start, though, with the coronavirus numbers today, and we've had another rise in COVID-19 cases, and it's another broken record. 3,845 new cases reported in 24 hours. That is up 255 from yesterday's record numbers. This is the third time this week that we've broken the record.
Betsy, we just throw these numbers out, and sometimes it just becomes number soup. Just to put into perspective, Ohio has had just under 60,000 COVID-19 positive cases in the month of October. That's enough to nearly fill First Energy Stadium. Our daily positivity rate ticked up slightly, 7% now. Hospitalizations also continue to climb. 93 more patients in Ohio hospitals today than yesterday, more than 1,600 statewide. Deaths are down 3 from yesterday to 16. Coming up in just a little bit, I speak with Cleveland Clinic infectious disease expert Dr. Frank Esper on why he believes deaths might be down.
Well, the recent spike in cases in the state has also been hitting inside long-term care facilities. But an investigation at a Beachwood nursing home has led to 3 employees getting fired. Tiffany Tarpley is following this story for us today. And Tiffany, it is so important to keep an eye on those highest risk.
Yeah, most vulnerable here, Betsy. There are nursing homes in our area that have had to deal with dozens of cases at a time, both residents and staff testing positive for the virus. Montefiore and Beachwood is now dealing with a similar situation. I'm told last week they saw an increase in cases. They called the county and state for help. After testing all 500 staff and residents with the help of the National Guard, 34 residents came back with positive test results. A representative says those residents have now been isolated. But according to an internal memo during the investigation, a member of the nursing staff raised concerns that original tests might not have been conducted properly. So that memo goes on to say it was found that false test results were submitted, which is failing to follow official protocols and procedures, they say. So the director and assistant director of nursing, as well as the facility's administrator, were fired. The state cannot comment because this investigation is ongoing, but it is unclear how long that investigation might last.
We're being transparent. We're letting them do their thing. They're the experts. They're the regulatory authorities. We are not standing in their way. We're open book and let them do the job. That's what we're doing. We take it very serious, and they do too.
And so according to Montefiore, there have been no positive test results since that situation. They say everything is now under control. But according to that memo, the testing issue was limited to a short period of time and only involved those 3 staff members that I mentioned. Betsy, I was told one unit inside Montefiore was affected, but because of privacy laws, they can't say which unit that was.
And of course, you know, the nursing homes especially, they literally just opened up to visitors once again. So people have gotten that face-to-face time with their families. And now certainly this is not great news for them, but hopefully they're going to continue to be as careful as possible. Tiffany Tarpley, thank you so much.
Well, now on your feet at 5, Ohio is currently in the 3rd wave of the coronavirus. Those are the words of Dr. Frank Esper, a contagious disease expert at the Cleveland Clinic. I spoke with Dr. Esper earlier today. He told me it appears this virus, as most do, has evolved, and the data is pointing to it being less deadly than it was in March and even in July.
And we've had 3 waves. We're moving into our 3rd wave right now.
Right.
The first wave, we had the highest case fatality between recognized and people who have died. We had the highest rate. Sure. In the middle, it's less, and at least in the second wave, it was less than the first. And in the 3rd wave, we are hoping, and right now it's kind of trending that way, that'll even be less than the second, which is great.
Now, using CDC estimates that for every case we know about, there are likely 10 more that go undiagnosed, that would shift the mortality rate from 2.5% all the way down to 0.25%. But Dr. Esper says we still need to be more diligent than ever. He credits the decline in mortality rate due to advancements in treatments.
Well, the countdown is on, and we are now just 4 days away from Election Day. And so far, 2.5 million Ohioans have voted. And according to the Board of Elections, well, 8.1 million Ohioans are registered to vote. So that means that there's still roughly 5-ish some million voters still to head to the polls or try to take advantage of early voting. That's where we want to take you now, into that inside of early voting. Brandon Simmons is following this for us today. And Brandon, you know, I know there's a lot of people who are waiting and watching. We only have 4 days and 5+ million voters still to vote. So what if voters haven't requested an absentee ballot? Can they still do that?
Well, it's a tricky question. At the beginning of this election season, remember, we told voters about all the deadlines that they needed to adhere to and be worried about. Now, technically speaking, the last day to request an absentee ballot, as you asked, is tomorrow, October 31st. However, I've spoken to experts, including the director of the Lake County Board of Elections, and he says at this point, it's probably too late to try to do that based on the sheer volume of absentee voting requests and the process involved in getting a ballot mailed to you in time. So instead, he says you should probably vote early in person instead at your Board of Elections, or wait until Election Day to vote at your polling place, Betsy.
All right, Brandon. So what if voters received ballots? Do they still have time to put that stamp on there, get them in the mail? Is there time?
Well, again, at this point, that's not recommended either. There's a chance that it doesn't make it before Election Day. Now, instead, it's much better if you're able to drop your ballot off early in person. Any day before Election Day, you can use one of those ballot drop boxes. And if you wait until Election Day, you can also drop off that absentee ballot in person to your Board of Elections office and hand deliver it. Now, if you choose to put it in the mail, there's a chance that your ballot doesn't get to the Board of Elections before Election Day. Now, if it arrives late, not all is lost. It's not included in the unofficial vote total that everyone looks at on election night. But as long as it's postmarked by November 2nd, it will still be counted in the official results as long as it's delivered by November 13th, which is 10 days after the election. Bottom line, it's best to hand deliver everything if you can at this point, Betsy.
All right. Sounds good, Brandon. Thank you so much for keeping everybody up to date with all of the ins and outs of trying to get the vote to count. And, of course, 4 days left. That's not a lot of time. So hopefully everybody's doing their best to do that. Jay?
All right, it is 7 minutes past the top of the hour right now. Russ Mitchell, he joins us from the news desk with some of our other headlines at 5. Russ, a very happy Friday to you.
And you too, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. A local mail carrier is facing federal charges tied to recent postal delays. 27-year-old DeArian Rice has worked in both Bedford and Cleveland. Police searched his vehicle after reports of missing mail. Now, they found some 350 items, including 1 absentee ballot application, 88 pieces of mail from the Cleveland Water Department, and 32 Dolly Parton book club books. Kennedy cousin Michael Skakel will not be tried again for the 1975 murder of his teenage neighbor, Martha Moxley. He was convicted back in 2002 and served 11 years, but a judge overturned that conviction. Skakel has been out on $1 million bond. And the remnants of Hurricane Zeta continue to cause problems as they move into the Northeast. Zeta roared ashore as a Category 2 storm yesterday, causing flooding, power outages, and damage across the Gulf Coast. 6 died. This is the 5th named storm to hit Louisiana this year. We said it yesterday, Jay, those folks cannot catch a break.
Nope, they really can't. And I guess the mystery may be solved if you're missing one of your Dolly Parton book clubs. Perhaps now we at least know where it is.
Now I know where mine is. That's good to know. Perhaps he's only been charged. He has not been convicted. But
Yes, correct.
It's not there anyway.
Yeah. All right, Russ. Very good. We'll see you at 6 o'clock for What Matters Most.
See ya.
Okay. Coming up, prepare to have your minds blown. We have a mentalist coming up on the show, and you're not going to believe what he was able to do. I still don't believe it. Betsy, I need answers.
It was pretty creepy. And all the money and fame in the world can't give Kim Kardashian more time with her dad. But the surprise birthday gift that she got is pretty incredible. That's coming up in Pop Break. Also, the skies are gray across much of the CLE in Northeast Ohio, but the outlook for the weekend isn't all bad. But there are some tricks in the forecast. Matt Standridge has the latest. Hi, Matt.
Hey Betsy, happy Friday. It's been so cloudy, dreary, drizzly, and we may still have some of those showers tonight, but we've got some good news for your Halloween. A lot of sunshine. We'll be back in Ohio before maybe some snow later this weekend. All the details are coming up.
And as we head to break, here are just a few pictures our viewers sent us of kids dressed up for a Halloween. Enjoy them. We may not see a whole lot of this in real life. Welcome back to What's New. This is the season to be a little scared, maybe even a little freaked out. So Betsy and I talked with mentalist and mind power expert Brent Webb.
This was so much fun. Webb was able to guess what we were going to say before we even said it. Check this out.
I'll tell you what, Betsy, I want you to think of someone, anyone in the world, can be a famous person or a family member. Who is the first person that pops into your mind?
You want me to say it right now?
Yeah.
It just changed.
Okay, what did you change it to?
My mom.
What's your mom's first name?
Sue.
Sue. Okay. So I want you to erase the blackboard of your mind, Betsy.
Okay.
Jay, we're gonna use you. Jay, I want you to think of some place in the world. It can be a place you've been, or it can be a place you'd like to go. But what is the first place that pops into your mind?
Okay, I got it.
What is it?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Wow.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Now, did you change your mind at all, or is that the first thing you thought of?
I had a couple of cities, but really Barcelona is probably my favorite city. So at the end, I switched to that one.
And you have been there?
I have.
Okay. Now, you guys, have you noticed this thing that's hanging around my neck?
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
It's a binder clip?
It is. And can you tell what's on it?
No.
It is an envelope.
Oh.
And I want to show you what's inside. I'm going to keep this right in the camera so you can see this. I'm going to open it for you. I'm going to bring it really close.
Stop it.
Sue in Barcelona right there.
Way.
That is not possible.
And it was there before we started. You see, mind power is not that hard.
I
Betsy,
love
I'm still
when Jay gets surprised. Like, it's just... It's like a little 5-year-old Christmas morning, just that joyous surprise moment.
I'm just blown away. I've seen it twice, and I'm just as blown away after seeing it the second time as I was when we did that live last night. The interesting thing is, and I thought this was hilarious, so Webb tells us that females actually change their minds 2.5 times. Men never change their mind even when they're wrong. And I agreed with that.
Yeah, I do too.
I think he's absolutely right.
Well, Webb
No,
is
I
going
know
to be...
it's this way. I'm not going to change.
Yeah, don't ask for directions. Definitely don't do that for sure.
Never,
but you know what? Webb
never.
is going to be performing at Hilarity's 4th Street Theater on Sunday. You can watch more and learn how to get tickets on WKYC.com. We talked to him for, 15 minutes or so? It was pretty fascinating to talk to him, for sure.
Have you been thinking about this since we did that last night, and do you have any idea how he did it? Because I can't get it off my mind.
Well, I was trying to understand where my mind was going because he said, who's the first person that pops into your mind? And literally I went from Trump to the Dalai Lama to my mother, and I have no idea the connection between those three.
Wow.
That's terrifying.
But I got that's an interesting way of coming about your decision. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, we have to talk forecast.
He's Sunday, 7 o'clock.
Yep, Sunday at 7 o'clock. It's going to be cold, probably snowing by that point, just so everybody knows. And Matt Standridge joined us now with an update on this forecast. But first, Matt, I'm going to take a look outside on our CSU cam because we have one of my very most favorite phenomenon happening in the distance. Do we have any? Oh, that looks like they started to close together a little bit. I don't know if we can move left a little, but we have crepuscular rays over downtown Cleveland. So you can see Progressive Field there toward the right. The bridge that you see, that's the Interbelt Bridge. And when you see the rays of sunshine poking through the clouds, those are called crepuscular rays, my favorite weather phenomenon. And we have seen a few peaks of sun here and there, but Matt, that's going to be a little difficult come Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday, yeah. I think for tomorrow, it's a good thing for signs to come. We'll get more sunshine temporarily. It's been so cloudy, Betsy. We've been talking about as a whole weather team how dreary it's been day after day. We get a break tomorrow for Halloween, and then Sunday, it just all comes right back. But let's talk about your Saturday. Let's talk about the whole weekend forecast. Lots of things going on. We have Halloween. Saturday, it's going to be the nicest day of the week. Sunshine returns. There may be a few high clouds in the morning, and then we break those up, and then it's going to be a mostly sunny sunny afternoon, and we're trying to make a run towards 50 degrees, a little bit warmer than we have been. We've been stuck in the 40s for quite some time, and it's been really windy too. Those northwest winds will get you. A lot of us are holding in the low to mid 40s. On top of that, we're still dealing, Betsy, with a couple light showers here and there coming off the lake, and a few times we've had some reports of a little bit of sleet mixing in. Matt Wins had a really cool video on Twitter where he posted some of the little sleet pellets falling too. So you may get some of those as the evening continues to go on, as temperatures cool a little bit more. But the overall trend will be drier overall going into the weekend. Here's a big weather setup. We just had a front pass through. That's why we're a little bit colder right now. But there's that next system in southwestern Canada. That's going to be coming in this weekend for Sunday, giving us rain, and then eventually, gotta say it, maybe a little bit of snow too. But no snow really this evening. Once again, a little bit of light rain here and there, maybe even a stray sleet pellet, as temperatures are gonna be in the 40s. It's gonna be cold overall. Waking up tomorrow morning, it'll be chilly too. A few of us will be below freezing, some of us being below freezing. It's gonna be pretty cool as you start your Saturday. But as you progress through your Saturday, throughout Halloween, it should be a really nice Halloween for us, as we should climb to right next to 50 degrees. Sunset will be just a little bit before 6:30, headed towards the lakeshore tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south tomorrow, and so the waves won't be too bad. But overall, lots of sunshine expected for Saturday. Here's your National Zymar hour-by-hour forecast, because things change Saturday night into Sunday. Clouds will start to come back on in. We're going to start with some rain Sunday morning into the early afternoon. And the guys, as that cold front passes through, this is our first best chance of some lake effect snow coming in for Sunday evening and into early Monday morning. That timeline kind of showing you when that transition will take place. The first half of Sunday will be a little bit too warm for snow. The second half, it's game time. And talking about any kind of totals, I may have to pass it off to Betsy. But we could have some measurable snow. It'll be our first measurable snow of the season so far. You know, a few of us might even try to get a couple inches in the snow belt. But that comes Sunday, maybe a few lingering snow showers into Monday morning. But guys, going into next week, starting on Election Day, the sun comes back out, and it's going to stay out for most of next week.
He said he's going to pass it off to Betsy. Wow, look at that.
That's right.
Dude, you are on my list for this evening. We will discuss this later. By the way, it's about 2 to 4 inches, I think, primary snowbelt area. So we'll talk more about that coming up. Good job, Matt. Appreciate that. All right, wedding bells for the Black Widow. How about that? The creative way an Avengers star announced her nuptials.
And sometimes you just don't have the energy. This dog ran out in a hurry, and it's worth the watch. It's adorable, and it's coming up.
A most touching gift for Kim Kardashian, a hip-hop Halloween costume that goes the extra step, and the Black Widow is tying the knot. Kira Cotton has today's Pop Break.
For Kanye West, when it comes to gifts for his wife Kim, the limit does not exist.
You look beautiful, just like when you were a little girl.
Nope, your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. That is a hologram video of the late Robert Kardashian wishing his middle daughter a happy 40th birthday. In a post on Instagram, Kim called the video the gift of a lifetime and went on to say, "I can't even describe what this meant to me and my sisters, my brother, my mom, and closest friends to experience together. What an incredibly meaningful gift to receive." That's right, brace yourself because hip-hop artist Saweetie is not playing around this Halloween. In a video posted to Twitter, she is dressed as not one, not two, but all three members of Destiny's Child from their iconic Bootylicious video. And if that wasn't enough, she also recreated a promo shoot for RuPaul's Drag Race. And that's my type. We love a queen that goes all out for Halloween. Scarlett Johansson and Colin Jost are celebrating after tying the knot last weekend in an intimate ceremony with close friends and family. The couple announced the exciting news through the Instagram page of Meals on Wheels with the caption, "Jost married." It went on to say that they wanted to share the happy news while also bringing awareness to a worthy cause. Congratulations to this happy couple.
Wow, you're going to love our Worth the Watch on this Friday. It shows us exactly how many of us feel navigating through this pandemic. Exhausted. Betsy, this pup appears to be so tired. Look what he's laying in his water dish, and he's sleeping, and he's actually blowing air bubbles.
Look at that little thing. Is he sleeping or is he just playing? I mean, obviously very relaxed.
One way or another, he's having a blast, and I think he's kind of figured out that you can actually have fun with a water dish.
Aww.
All I can say is I'm glad my Goldens haven't figured that out.
Right?
It looks like it could make a mess.
That'll be fun once he
How
gets his
cute.
paws involved for sure, and then it just goes everywhere. A lot of puppies do that too. Well, everybody's still ahead on what's new for us. Time is running out for early voting. We have options though. We're going to take a look at your best options to make sure that your vote counts.
And Halloween safety is a big concern right now for all parents. A doctor is going to join us on the show, and they'll weigh in on how to pass out candy safely and what to do with the bag of treats once your kids bring it home.
And speaking of candy, Mike Polk Jr. has a simple or two DIY way to give treats out. This is interesting. It's all to save social distance. We'll be right back.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
It most certainly is. Welcome back to What's New. The second half hour still awaits. We've made it to Friday. That is certainly a good thing, along with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford. Bets, like so many Americans, I've already voted. Have you?
I did. I dropped my ballot in the ballot box at the County Board of Elections just last night.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I've never done that before. I've always gone to the polls and actually cast my vote on Election Day, but that's not the way folks are doing it in 2020. In fact, that's our top talker here at 5:30. The 2020 presidential election. Get this. More than 80 million Americans have already voted, and we're still 4 days away. Here in Ohio, that number, 2.5 million of our more than 8 million registered voters. Betsy, they've already cast their ballots.
You want a big number. How about nationwide? We also hit a record. And of course, we turn to our man on the street, Jay Gray, who joins us live from Pensacola, Florida. First of all, Jay, it's very, very good news that you finally dried out. The last time I saw you, you were soaked in Hurricane Zeta. So it's good to see the sunshine behind you there in the Sunshine State. But talking about voting in this election, 83 million early votes. How does that compare to the 2016 election?
It's really overwhelming, Betsy, Jay. And yeah, thankfully some sunshine. It's a beautiful day here in Florida after the storms have moved through. And a great day to vote. We've seen people streaming in and out of this polling place all day. Look, the turnout overwhelming, not only here in Florida, but as you guys have talked about across the country, states are setting records with people voting early or absentee. Even with the pandemic growing again here, voters are making sure their voices are heard.
Jay, around 130 million Americans voted in the last presidential election in 2016. I don't know if you have any estimates, but are we going to, it would appear that voter enthusiasm is even higher in 2020. Is it expected that we'll surpass that total?
Yeah, I think there's no question, Jay, that we're going to shatter that total. And that's what, when you talk to election officials in different states across the country, they'll tell you, look, we're breaking our records. There's no way that the national record can't go down as well with this. Let's just talk about Florida, where they've already seen more than 7 million. We just got the new numbers a few minutes ago. More than 7 million people vote. That's up early voting wise more than 57% from 4 years ago. And as you guys talked about, over 80 million across the country. I can tell you, we learned this afternoon in Texas that they've had 9 million early voters, and that now is more than they had in the general election on election day 4 years ago. So we're seeing so many people get out to the polls. There have been some instances where there's weather that's been an issue, but people have stayed in these long lines despite, in some areas, rain, in some areas, sleet. They just say that it's important that they get out and make that vote. And I think when you look at this, guys, there are two driving factors. People are passionate about the election this time around, no question about that. But there's also the issue of the pandemic, of COVID-19. And a lot of people want to come out and get this done early. So on election night, they're not crammed into a room with a bunch of people and having to wait it out and go through that process. So I think that's driving things as well.
Well, Jay, you know, there's so many people who have uneasy feelings about this election and how it's going to turn out, not just related to the candidates and which side ends up winning, but because the threat of voter fraud has been presented, you know, how are voters dealing with that? And is there going to be problems as far as voter fraud when you talk about the absentee ballots?
Yeah, I think that you will see some issues in some states because you always do. That's something that happens regardless. I've talked to a lot of election officials, not only here in Florida, but in other areas. What they say is this process is as clean and as strong as you can get. Are there going to be problems? Are there going to be issues? Sure, in some areas, but they say that they have the checks in place to make sure that if there's a problem, that it is weeded out and that they understand what's going on. Will it take a little longer in some areas to count the absentee or the early voting ballots? Absolutely. And we may not know on election night what the final totals are. But when you look at this from a historical perspective, guys, most election nights, we don't have the official results. In fact, they have to be certified a week or more after the election. What's going to be interesting is how this early voting plays into the entire total and when they can get those numbers. Here in Florida, for example, they say the first numbers that they will report are the early voting numbers, that they're tabulating them as they go. They're being held in a database. Nobody can see who's winning or losing or what's going on. But that is the first numbers they will tap when they start to announce results on election night. There are other states who are doing the same thing. Unfortunately, what we've seen is some problems with early voting 2 years ago, moving into this election. A lot of the election officials will tell you that was a run to make sure we could do it right now, and most of them feel pretty confident, guys.
Well, that certainly is the hope. Hopefully we get it right. This is history in the making. Voter apathy will certainly not be a problem with the 2020 presidential election. Jay Gray live tonight from Florida. Jay, thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, well, it is now 5:35 just about. We want to check in with Laura Queso to get a look at some of the other stories making big news today, and I assume we're going to be starting on the national front.
Yeah, we are with these numbers, right? Because today we hit a record with 90,000 new COVID cases reported in a single day, Betsy. The new record is 10,000 cases higher than the previous one, which was set just one day earlier. So the U.S. also just logged its 9 millionth COVID case. COVID infections, we know, are on the rise across the country at the fastest rate since the start of the pandemic. Not the news we want to hear. Well, this afternoon, actress Lori Loughlin reported to a California prison to serve her sentence for her part in the nationwide college admissions scandal. She'll spend 2 months at the Federal Correctional Institution. Now, after she completes her sentence, she will be on supervised release for 2 years. She'll also pay a $150,000 fine and complete 100 hours of community service. Her husband, Massimo Giannulli, was sentenced to 5 months in prison. And don't forget to set your clocks, right? Back 1 hour this weekend. So Sunday at 2 a.m., clocks will fall back as part of daylight savings time. You'll be gaining an extra hour of sleep, but we'll be losing 1 hour of daylight. You know, I don't really care about the sleep. I mean, the daylight, that's I don't like it, no.
Everything kind of just shifts all of
Yeah.
a sudden in one day. And on the day that it's shifting, we have snow in the forecast. So we'll get another update on that coming up in just a few minutes. Thanks, Laura. We'll see you coming up on What Matters Most at 6. Sure. Jay?
All right, that's a double whammy. Darker earlier and snow. Well, there's no doubt that Halloween will be celebrated differently this year. Since many people are still going trick-or-treating, we asked Dr. Amy Edwards at University Hospital for creative and safe ways to pass out and receive candy this year. She recommends putting candy in baggies for kids. You can also leave a bowl of candy in the driveway. That way they don't have to come all the way up on the front porch, and it eliminates a group of kids gathering in a tight spot. We also asked her what parents should do with the candy once everyone gets home.
If you're worried about, then just leave the candy in a bag for a day or two and the virus will die off. Please do not spray Lysol on the candy. No, don't. That's dangerous.
She added to wash your hands immediately after your kids are done. In fact, I would even recommend, and Betsy, I know that you do this as well, carrying that hand sanitizer with you and just throughout the process, constantly wash those hands.
We'll
That's
be
the way to do
gooping
it.
up along the way. We call it goop in our house. Just a squirt of goop, get it over with, keep on moving.
Well,
but yeah.
Goop is good in this case.
Exactly, in this case.
Okay. Still ahead on What's New, we've seen some pretty creative contraptions to pass out candy from a safe distance. Mike Polk created a few of his own, but do they work? You know this piece is worth the watch. He puts them to the test coming up.
And Kent State got recognized for something pretty cool. We'll have all the details coming up in Clicking in Cleveland when we come back. Well, the weather has certainly gotten a lot of attention over this course of this week, and we have a lot more that's coming in. As a matter of fact, I just retweeted, if you have a chance to check out my Twitter feed, @BetsyKling, I just retweeted a little man named Lenny Sandifer from New Orleans. He's giving his on-the-street report from his front porch. It's pretty fantastic, so hopefully you'll give that a little bit of love. We could use him here in Cleveland. We've got stormy weather coming. I wonder how he would do with snow on Sunday, Matt.
Yeah, snow, the first snow of this season, first accumulating snow. Betsy, it's been crazy, and we're probably going to stay kind of on that crazier side through this weekend. Next week looks pretty good, but this weekend we've got a lot to talk about. But first, the good half of the news that we have to talk about. Tomorrow's going to be really nice. I know we're cloudy right now. You have a few showers out there. Even a little sleet has mixed in every once in a while too. But we'll start the morning with a few clouds and then quickly get to some sunshine throughout your Saturday. It's going to be a nice Halloween. We'll probably be in the low 50s. Overall, not too bad. Very close to where we probably should be this time of year. But then switch to Sunday after some rain showers in the first half of the day, where we're going to switch over to some snow showers. And this could possibly be the first accumulating snow of the season. Are you ready? It's coming. Right now, though, as you're headed out the door your Friday evening, it's still kind of dreary out there. It's been gloomy, cloudy the past several days. Today is no exception. We have some of those lake effect showers coming off the lake right now too. All rain except a few sleet pellets here and there. Matt Wentz tweeted a really cool photo and video earlier today of some of the sleet trying to mix in with the raindrops. If you're headed out this evening, watch out for a few of those. Those will start to trend drier and drier as we push later into the evening. So by tomorrow morning, we should be dry with a few clouds, and then we'll get rid of that completely. There's that front that just passed on through. You see it over now the Atlantic Ocean. A second front that's going to be giving us some crazy weather on Sunday is still in southwestern Canada, but it's making a beeline right towards Ohio. It will be here for the start of Saturday. But headed out this evening, it's probably not the best patio forecast, but if you are going to be out there, it's going to be chilly, 40s with a few light showers here and there. And once again, watch out for a little bit of that sleet. And the reason why we have to wonder about that sleet is because temperatures are pretty cool out there in the 40s, and we're going to get even colder tonight. We'll probably start your Saturday morning right next to freezing for a lot of us, sometimes even a little bit below freezing once you get a little bit further away from the lake. But head out tomorrow afternoon, that Halloween forecast. Guys, mostly sunny, south winds back into the forecast. We're going to try to make a run at 50. Most of the day will probably be spent in the 40s, but at least we'll have some sunshine. That'll be a nice change. Headed out towards the lakeshore. Waves shouldn't be too bad. We have a south wind out there too. Now here's your National Zymar hour-by-hour forecast. Let's walk through the rest of the weekend. There's that front coming in from Canada. It's going to start to bring us some rain Sunday morning into the early afternoon, but once that front swings on through and we get cold enough, we'll have a brief change over to a little bit of mix and then some light snow, some lake effect snow. We're going to turn on that machine headed into Sunday evening, early into Monday. A lot of us could try to pick up maybe a dusting. Not everyone's going to get some snow, but then over the snow belt, we could get a couple of inches. So we'll be watching that very closely. Here's that timeline though. The first half of the day, we're going to be in the 50s, and then we're going to drop like a rock as that cold front passes through, switching over to some more winter precipitation, and that'll maximize a little bit after sunset for us. Heading into Monday of next week, we might have a few leftover snow showers. Afterwards, Betsy, we don't have to talk about snow for at least several days because we have a huge warm-up on the way. You see lots of sunshine on that universal wind direct forecast.
Yeah, that next week, we totally switch over and it just gets into a beautiful stretch of weather. So we'll have to make sure we make plans to enjoy it while we can. All right, Matt, we'll see you coming up on Front Row at 7. Jay?
Well, Betsy, by now you've probably seen the creative ways people are finding to make trick-or-treat safe this year. You've probably seen the carpet roll used as a long tube for candy delivery. That's kind of cool. Well, Mike Polk also had some ideas of his own. Here's what's new in trick-or-treat candy delivery 2020 style.
Hey folks, if you're anything like me, you love Halloween and you love trick-or-treating, but eventually you get too old to go trick-or-treating and everybody's like, aren't you a little old for this? At this point, it's time to transition from your role as treat receiver to treat distributor, which is far, far worse. But it's not without its charm. So how do we get treats safely to kids during a pandemic when we're supposed to keep social distance? I put my mind to it and developed several methods, most of which were swings and misses.
After properly positioning my proxy trick-or-treaters, it was time to attempt my first method, utilizing my niece's remote control car.
All right, kids, get ready for some Halloween!
Are you serious? Boy, this thing's bad. Unfortunately, my niece's car lacked the horsepower necessary to conquer even the mildest of obstructions.
Come on. Sorry. God. Sorry. Oh, I am sorry.
Halloween fail! Catapults have been in use since the 4th century BC, so I figured it was a method worth exploring.
Sometimes, like, it's the old methods that work best. Iron Man, you look like a Milky Way man, am I right? Okay, here's a couple of them. Say trick or treat. Okay, here it comes. Oh boy, sorry. Is that? Oh no. This isn't gonna work either. I can't have him running out in the street for him.
Halloween fail! I next experimented with a crude conveyor system, intended to function not unlike a modern-day ski lift.
What's that? You want a Butterfinger? No problem. And then you do this. Now watch, here we go. Can't go too fast. I'm losing it. Oh boy. I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Halloween fail! Humankind has long relied upon beasts of burden, like my sister's dog Layla, for assistance.
Okay, just go take that. See how it goes? Take that to the kids. Here it goes. Go get it. No, take it over there. Go. Come on. This would work if you were smarter.
Halloween fail! Apparently, candy shoots have become a popular method of distributing the goods this year.
Great costumes.
And work it did. So, after rigorous experimentation, I wholeheartedly recommend the candy shoot method.
We did it!
Halloween success! It's fun, it's effective, and most importantly, it's safe.
Yeah! Oh, kids. Oh, no.
Happy Halloween. This is Mike Polk, disturbing my neighbors for 3 News.
I think we need to send a crew out to do a story on Mike Polk's neighbors. His sister is one of his neighbors, which is a phenomenal idea in and of itself. But just to go talk to them and say, what's it like to live near him? Because this pandemic, he has had some crazy stuff happening there.
I think the conveyor belt system was the biggest fail of all of them, the one that just took out the poor little kids. You can't have them running into the street. But Betsy, he came back to the old faithful, the one that we've seen a couple of times leading up to Trick or Treat this year. It's that carpet tube, and you just drop the candy down. You just have to make sure that the tube doesn't come loose and crash the kids down. Not a good look.
You got to get some good momentum so it gets all the way through there. And, you know, I like the potato gun idea that some people have employed because they can hit the trick-or-treaters like 2 blocks away. So you never know what's going to fall out of the sky. Be careful on Halloween night.
Thanks for the laugh, Mike.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we know that Mike Polk plans to hand out candy safely. Hopefully you do too. But what about other Halloween events? Well, the experts weigh in on how to do it next.
Then Kent State University has some bragging to do. What they were just recognized for, that's straight ahead. Clicking in Cleveland is next on What's New. right, welcome back to What's New. It's time right now to see what's clicking in Cleveland. And for that, we say hello to our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, a very happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you too, Jay. And today we are very proud of Kent State University with a perfect score for its LGBTQ plus policies on the 2020 Campus Pride Index. Now, this lands the school for the first time ever on its top 40 best of the best LGBTQ plus friendly list. The director of Kent State's LGBTQ plus center said implementing trans-inclusive healthcare for faculty and staff, a preferred name policy, and universal restrooms are what got the school on the list. Now, Campus Pride reviews 400 schools each year and lists the top 40 by region in no particular order. Ohio State University and Kenyon College are also on the list. Looking ahead to the weekend, the city of Cleveland is updating its trick-or-treating plan, and the city doesn't recommend trick-or-treating, but it's also not banning trick-or-treating. So if you're going to do it, the hours are 6 to 8 p.m. on Saturday, and if so, the city asks that people wear proper cloth masks, not just the costume mask, use loss of hand sanitizer, and cut down on the number of houses you visit. Also, wipe off that candy when you get it home. Check WKYC.com for the plans in more Northeast Ohio neighborhoods. Whether you're going out trick-or-treating or not, you can still dress the part, and we have some inspiration from some of our younger WKYC viewers. Check out these adorable costumes inspired by the movie Coco from Carrie Weisenhunt. We've got Millie as Mama Coco, Baby Lucas as one of the skeletons, and Dawson and Logan as Miguel and Hector. It's always nice to get the fur babies involved. Check out this policeman and his dog sent in by Sean Coleman of Avon Lake. And we have a very convincing Beetlejuice and Lydia coming from East Lake. And I saved the spookiest for last. Here's Lila and her brother Lincoln dressing up as Pennywise the Clown and Georgie from It. You can go ahead and add that to the list of scary movies that I have not seen, but I can tell you that that is a very convincing job that they did, Jay. Those kids are much cooler than me by far.
Yeah, very creative. Love the costumes. Very cool. Stephanie, have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Well, when talking about Halloween, you have to talk about candy, so it's time to have a little bit of fun here on What's New. Halloween might be different this year, but candy? No, that is not canceled. A recent study revealed America's favorite Halloween candy. But before we reveal the answers to you, of course we're going to make you wait, we asked you on 3 News' Twitter page what your favorite Halloween candy is, and most of you said Reese's Cups, followed by Snickers. All right, Jay, what is your favorite?
Those are good, but I think those are boring. I'm going to go way, way off the grid here. Do you know what bottle caps are?
Yeah, those are old school.
Bottle caps rock, and the root beer flavored ones, yes. I always sort through them and try to get the brown colored root. It's just the greatest candy in the world for my money.
I'm
How
a
about
Kit
you?
Kat girl.
Do you have a favorite?
It's all about Kit Kats.
Okay.
Like when the kids come home
very
from
good.
trick-or-treating, the Kit Kats are payment to mommy.
Now, this will tell everybody at home a lot about you. Please tell me you're not one of those people that just takes a bite out of the Kit Kat like more than one of the little sticks. You break it off and just eat them individually, right?
It depends on how much I want that Kit Kat at that moment in time. I can mouth through a Kit Kat pretty darn quick, so it just depends on...
So you have been known to bite into more than one stick at the same time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the whole thing at once.
That's
actually.
a little weird, Bets.
Fun-sized ones, okay. Well, according to the Retail Me Not poll, the #1 candy is, how about the drum roll on cue? Reese's Cups. And 52% of surveyors said Reese's Cups. They followed that by M&Ms. I was surprised about that. I just so happen to have some props here. Not small props. No, we go big here on What's New. We have the giant ones. And have you seen these, Jay? I don't know if you've seen these. These are Reese's, but they're not the cups. It's a bar. So I figured I should probably open this up just to see exactly what this is all about. And you can literally see, look, that's a Reese's bar. Delicious.
Wow, I didn't know that was even a thing.
We'll be right back.
All
We'll
right.
eat this.
Very nice. All right, Bets, another week of What's New is in the books. We're back Monday at 5. We hope everyone joins us then.
That's right. Happy Halloween, everyone. And